Hey guys, what's up? Today is back day, and I've thought about it, and I think the best way for me to show you guys my workout is to just record it and then voice over. People get kind of touchy in the gym about recording, and then if I try to add commentary on top of that, I just don't really want to disturb the other people working out. So I think the best thing to do is to record the workout that I am doing, and then I'm going to voice over and kind of explain a little bit of the exercise. All right, so whenever I'm doing my back exercises, mostly all of your back exercises is going to be a pulling motion. Two of the main things that I have to concentrate on is with the pulling motion, you want to pull with your shoulder blades and try to make them touch in your back. So whether it's the low row, or a lat pull down, you want to pinch your shoulder blades back to help really get a good range of motion in your back to help really work out the back muscle. The other thing that's pretty important is your grip. A friend of mine in college recommended something called the meat hook, and basically all that is the bar or whatever you're gripping really lays in the curvature of your fingers more so than the palm of your hand. What that does is that helps you concentrate more using your back muscles more so than your biceps or your arms. Once you see how I'm doing the lat pull down especially, you'll be able to see how I have the grip of the bar within my fingertips, and the motion that you really need to kind of concentrate on is more so in your elbows than in your arms. And so basically whenever you're pulling it down, you need to pull from your elbow instead of trying to pull it down with your shoulders or with your arms. So I'm gonna finish getting dressed and head up to the gym and get this back workout. So if you're a beginner, as far as set structure goes, I would recommend doing a simple one. A 3-set, 15-rep set structure is good to start with. You would use a weight that you're comfortable with. The most important thing to keep in mind is your form. For me, the set structure that I'm comfortable with, that I like, is called a pyramid structure. And all that means is I start out with a high rep, low weight. And set after that, I lower my reps and up my weight. Particularly, I like a 20 rep, 10 rep, 10 rep, 15 rep for each exercise. This particular exercise is just a lat pull down. I use a reverse grip. I like to keep it about shoulder width distance. As you can see, I am using the meat hook grip, and that's just keeping the bar right there in my fingertips. And I'm really concentrating on pulling my elbows down, and then once I get them down, I pull them backwards, and that really helps to pull my shoulder blades together that I was mentioning. So this is just a rowing machine. The important thing to remember on this is to keep pinching your shoulder blades back. I try to keep a little arch in my back as well by pushing my chest out, and that just helps with the motion. I lean back just to keep a constant tension throughout the whole pull, but notice how I don't pull from my lower back. The motion is all in my upper back. A lot of people like to use momentum to get the weight up, and that's just not good form. If you lean back, just make sure all the motion is in your upper back and you're not using your lower back to help you get the weight back. I'm also meat hooking the grip here. It's a little bit more difficult to tell, but the pad is resting in my fingertips. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what this is supposed to be called, but I call it the lawnmower pulls just because you're simulating pulling a lawnmower to crank it. The important thing on this one to keep in mind is you want to initiate the pull with your shoulder instead of with your elbow here, because that would engage your biceps and triceps. So initiating the movement with your shoulder engages the back, which is your goal here. You want to try to keep a straight back. I know on my heavier sets later in the set, I kind of round my back just because the weight's getting heavy. But you want to try to keep a straight back the entire time. You also want to control the weight on the pull and as you let it go. You are wanting to keep constant tension in the entire movement. So you want to pull it up and then let it down slowly. Be sure not to swing the weight. Make sure you control it all the way up. So this is just a bent over row using a Smith machine. You can really use a barbell or dumbbells to do this. I prefer the Smith machine just because I can lift heavier weights and have a little bit of assistance doing that by myself. I use a grip where my palms face away from my body. I use that grip to engage the lower part of your back. If you reversed your grip, you would bring your elbows out further, which engages your top part of your back. You want to keep your elbows tight towards your body and bring the weight up to about your waistline. So you want to have a flat back but at an angle and really concentrate on bringing your elbows back and pinching your shoulder blades together like the other back exercises. These are just trap pulls. I do these to end out my workout session. I only do like 3 sets of 15 just to get a little burn. The important thing on here to remember is to bring your elbows wide and bring them back, and the motion's all in the top part of your back or your traps. You want to keep a straight back in order to keep the work in your traps instead of using momentum to get the weight back. These are just push downs. I also do 3 sets of 15 for these. Important thing to keep in mind, just like any of the other back exercises, keep a flat back. You want to pull all the way down to where the rope actually touches your waist. It helps give a full range of motion, and this helps work out the top of the back. So that's basically what I do on back day. Keep in mind that I'm not a professional trainer or professional weightlifter for that matter. These are just exercises and tips that I've picked up over the years from trainers. Keep in mind on back day to keep your shoulders back, to pinch your shoulder blades. It's all about form. You want to keep good form to execute the exercise properly and get a good efficient burn. You want to keep a constant tension. Do not use momentum to lift the weights, and you want to have a good, decent range of motion no matter what exercise it is. You want to have a full range of motion. The more time and tension, the more you're working the muscles. So just keep that in mind when doing these exercises, and hopefully it'll help get you to your goals.